mental health man, mental health awareness day man tomorrow. So kani siya Brent, kani siya kaning
by line psychology.
Yoga ni siya yogi ni siya pagkuman kibaw mo ni siya mo meditate. So maybe we'll talk about that.
I'm also a psychology professional. I mean, I was HR. I do some team building trainings.
We can talk about that also.
Gawa ng akademya.
Ikaw ba? Pero ang
sige lang, happy naman sa moment.
Estudyante ni siya sa UC, so student ni siya, so we can talk about that. Pero yan yung show nga parang talk about student issues, no?
Lagi.
Sisiyahan ba?
Yeah. Break na kaskilahan. Tapos na nag-streaming, ganun nga, Cebu Vloggers na Society ba? Ready sila? If magsugod yung yoga classes mo po sa Saturdays, sugod sila mo sa sampay sa ako, huwag na sila sa computer break.
Bloggers. Dugay na ako word. Dugay na ako ano ko ng word ito, blogger.
Vloggers na word.
Vloggers ba the original word, no? The first of vloggers.
To the student program of 105.1 TMC from the University of Cebu, Brent Garces. Brent on break. And you know what, Brent? We got lucky today. We are so lucky today. From out of nowhere, actually, not from out of nowhere, from heaven above. A meditation expert just dropped like a gift from the heavens. Crazy, right? It's just a
crazy coincidence.
When you talk about stuff, it just happens, right? And lo and behold, we were talking about mental health. We have a meditation and a yoga expert live here in the studios of 105.1 in the person of Jai. Maayong hapon diya, Jai.
Maayong hapon sa inyong tanan.
Naghisgot mi og meditation ba? Niya si Brent, mag-meditate ko na siya. Nasa yung panghambog nga meditation. Naminaw ko niya, marag taka rin si Brent. Tako sa meditate. Dili mo na meditation yung buhat ko. Ako sa patugas ako meditate. Pagtuon ako, kibaw ko meditate. So daghan kayo nag-aliro nga mga thoughts sa ako ang utok. Labi na sa pultahan. Daghan kayo manuktok ba?
Hilahin na na.
Sa muka lagi. Daghan kayo manuktok. Daghan kayo manuktok. So kaning Jai here will eventually have a show here. But has something to do with mental health, something to do with yoga and all that stuff. But Jai, tambagi ka ni Jai ka. Kami kapatugato kami ihisgo tari og kanang meditation kay bawo ko may mo meditate kay murag nalay tukar nga nindot meditate na siya. Pero unsa man gyud ang meditation? Can you explain to us in a nutshell? Unsa man gyud ang meditation?
Duha na kampo gihatag na igsoon jigi.
Kampo?
Ang kampo sa pangunahuna, or let's say the train of thoughts. Okay. There's the Western meditation.
Ay, sa palabig in English, binisay. Basig wild translation ng imong gisulti na, imong gipong binisayon. There's a there's a school of thought.
School of thought.
Okay.
Duha na sila, no? Like there's the Western concept of meditation that's now available with everybody. And there's really our own tradition. No? Ako agad ng parugan gyud nga.
Our own tradition. Our meaning?
Ours means the Eastern view of meditation, where it came from, because people of the East were more on that tradition.
So
Brent,
may na Brent ha? O ka na mga estudyante diha sa UC or whatever school. Kani importante ni maybe you explain it to them in their language, but in a student friendly way of expressing and dissecting the topic. Go ahead, but answer, sorry.
Sige, usa lang akong hisgutan kaning more on the traditional na to. Kanang meditation, ang tawag ang gid-ana niya is dhyana. Dhyana. Paminawan ninyong tarong ha.
Okay.
Dhyana.
Okay.
So yoga nga practice na dhyana gina siya tawag na. Or in short, dhyan. Diba? Dhyana or dhyan Tagalog, no?
Okay. So what do you do?
Kaning concept of sitting down and being still, panggawas nun na siya nga manifestation. This is what you see
Outward, right?
outwards.
Okay.
But inside, I was listening to you, man. Ingon ka nga, you can't meditate because your mind is loud. There's a lot of thoughts coming in and
So
out.
many things going on. Kasi manuktok lagi. FBI, open up! Sa lagi.
Pagkanin So, ingin ana ang nahitabo sa itong utok. Oh, grabe pa. No, dapat yung mas grabe ana. So ang ato ang yung nato.
That's my brain. That's my brain every day.
Yung nato good. Kana good. Meditation, aside from sitting down and looking still, the reality going on inside of your brain is a lot. So what is the technique found within that concept is meditation.
Okay, so what do you do?
You acknowledge those thoughts. Yung mga process ni siya,
So, imong i-acknowledge yung thoughts.
Acknowledge.
What's may pasabot nang i-acknowledge mo yung thoughts?
Sa imong dawaton nga naa na diha, naanay hinungdan nga nung nanay imong pangunahon na diha.
Okay.
Imuha nang gipang you call that, subconscious ba? Kolekta na nimo dugay na kanang imuhang gipang tanaw sa lida, gipang basa nga libro, imong kaistorya, all those will go towards your subconscious.
Everything that you've ever absorbed from day one, right?
Yeah, and then when you're sitting down, depends on your hormonal balance. You don't just sit down and bago kang kaon, gikan mo naglalis, and then these things, when you're sitting down quietly, these will just rise, like the cream on the top. Yun mo na ato ng sutaon. We're going to just basically go through that process, and maybe more on that, Jiggy, because nindot sa na nga you asked me about it, and that's generally what most of the people doing yoga nowadays are actually a bit, let's just say, not really wanting to go into, because they know that this is something that's going to take them into the zone. You know what I mean? Like when they're going into that zone, they don't want to get into that zone because they don't want to face these demons and all these that's happening over there. It's just easy to see in social media, whatever you find there, sitting down, the process of breathing, and so on and so forth. Easy to talk about it, but it's all mental stuff, right? Meditation, as I said, I mentioned our dialect there, Diyan.
So like you're a student, right? You're in school. You're probably riding or driving home,
Right.
or you're at home, right? So those are the potential places that you can do a little bit of meditation, right? So I think it has to start with the place, right? What's the best place to do a meditation, and what are the conditions? I can imagine nga mas maayo gud kung mingaw ang lugar, right?
For starter, it's really important to prepare the environment. But to be honest with you, where I am at right now, I can be meditating while I'm driving my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm talking to
Yeah.
you.
But we're talking about students now.
Students, okay. Let's just say when you're in your classroom, no matter what position you're in, you can do seated meditation, sit up straight. Importante gyud ani, imong likod tulid gyud.
Tulid. Straight
Kaya nga
gyud siya,
naman.
straight gyud siya.
Kaya nga naman, ang mechanism na sa imong ginhawa mo atong importanteng atong plastaron. We gonna really get that position going.
Tulid gyud imong
Tulid
buko-buko.
yun. Kaya ang imuhang diaphragm mo na itong kuhaon og movement.
Okay.
Not only the lungs. The diaphragm is that muscle that really helps, supports the lungs to expand and contract. And aside from that environment you need, okay, let's say for starters, sugod pa ka, estudyante ka, kinanglan ka og lugar nga, tawhay pod. Hilom, gwapo na sa library, gwapo na, dito ka sa, kung naay chapel diha, no? Meditate diha. No, nayuban diha.
You don't necessarily have to squat, right?
No,
Basta
need.
straight lang imong buko-buko.
Straight lang imong buko, tulid lang.
Sakto lang, ang nindot lang, ang arang-arang lang ang nikuranan, right?
Kana,
Nga makasuporta sa buko-buko, right?
Kana.
Okay.
Basta,
Straight lang, okay. Continue,
and
sir. Go ahead. We're doing exactly as you say.
ang hangin, kanang sakto ang hangin, no?
Hangin.
Mas maayo na nga, kanang imuhang ginhawa, imuhang ng sundon ng imong ginhawa, no? And then, no matter if na yung mga diha, part ka na sa practice, na yung musulod. So, kung matagaan na ka og lessons on meditation or simple tips on meditation, ang i-require gana mo ninyo na stay with the process or stay in the process. No? First process, important, is to acknowledge that everything else is happening outside of your control. That's the truth there. And the next thing is just focus on what you are in control with. And what is that? Imong ginawa. Yeah, and then later on, you start to figure out, there's a voice inside. And this voice is actually here all along Ever since. No matter what's happening with me, it's always here. And then you go into that internal environment. Because most of us are just attracted to everything else happening outwards. Nasa gawas pa. Nga pang gitawag na siya panglawas nung
Mo man atong makitaan, di ba? Sa
Mao man.
atong masimutan mo, atong
Kana.
mahikapan mo, atong masimutan, atong tanan man sa atong mga senses.
right.
They're just capturing data, right?
Yeah.
So of course, you can't blame the human being
Yeah.
to absorb whatever it is that's in the environment.
Right.
Now you can't see what's inside of you, right? Right?
You can't
You cannot see it from
in a physiological
from
perspective.
a physical perspective.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
cannot
yeah.
see it because you use your eyes to see, right? So you can only feel it. You can only feel what's inside of you.
Precisely.
I cannot even pinpoint exactly where my heart is. I mean, theoretically, I know we have a heart.
Yeah.
I know I have a heart. Well, some people think I don't have a heart, but I think I do.
Who said that, bro?
Many people.
Laro tanawit.
Lain lang storya, lain lang. Pero akong basabot ba is, you know theoretically where your heart is because you've been taught in school nga ang heart mo na dito, whatever, right? So, but you don't really 100% know where it is, right? So you can't even locate your lungs. I mean, you know it's somewhere here, but I don't know exactly like here. So how can you tell us to look at what's inside of you when you can't even see? Do you actually mean looking at what's inside of you, or do you just mean think about the thoughts that you're thinking when you're not thinking about what's outside and thinking about what's percolating in your head? What are you thinking about right now when you close your eyes? What do you mean by that?
See, whatever is going on when you stop at the moment and then just work on it.
Okay.
Whatever is there, you just have to, again, as I said, stay in the process. Because if you ride on that thought, imagine a monkey jumping on different branches of a tree.
Okay.
It's the same thing that's happening on your thought. You could be sitting down right here, imagining you're on board, you're on the radio station, or you could be on your classroom talking to your classmate.
Okay.
You could be with your girlfriend, right? You could be with your family, and so on, and all these things come into you, and you get pulled out of where kanang gitawag nila present moment. You get pulled out of where you are at.
So the step-by-step process is you look for a good room, preferably silent. Make sure your back is straight. And what's the next step, Jai?
Usapod nga na limtan ako. One thing is mas maayo ginang wakay gikaon ba.
Gigutom ka?
Kanang dili sad nga gigutom ka. Kanang wala ka
Ganahan ka nga mag-meditate ko nga gigutom ko.
Ow, that hurts.
I know, right?
But
Being hungry hurts.
What's the reason why we need to?
Not necessarily that you're hungry, but not that you're full. Kanang gikan ba kanikaon ba?
Hey, yeah,
Exactly.
the stomach
Kanang
will be painful.
wala ka gigutom pero wala sa ka di sa kay kabusog kayo.
Dili ka busog.
Okay.
Kanang mo na importante.
Mo di pasabot mo amin ako kanang kinanglan kag di mo kaon.
Ayaw lang.
Okay, so and then nganong gali na?
Usa ka reason nga nung when you're digesting the food, then the process goes there. Just imagine that. You could already see that the processing goes there, and you cannot really get the.
But there's so many
energy
processes already going on, even though you're not digesting, right?
Definitely.
The breathing, the beating of the heart,
All
the pumping of the.
these-
So there's so many. There's like a million things going on.
Autonomous,
So why would one thing be, meaning to say digesting, disrupt your meditation when in fact there's like a million things going on, even when you're not eating? What's the importance of
I think
of
it's
that?
because like everything else is constant, especially your heartbeat, your breathing. That's always constant, and digesting. It will only happen like when you're already eating or like when it's happening. That's why, he suggested that we should do it like after.
So digesting
after eating.
is one of those things that we really don't control, but we don't do it for forever, right? It's something that stops and starts. Yeah.
Just imagine if I'm going to ask, let's say 4 of us is in the room, and let's say 4 of us are going to talk all together. Just think about it.
It'll be
Say, you're the heart, you're the lungs,
It'll sound
I'm
like
the
this.
stomach.
That's right.
We're so sorry,
I'm
radio
looking for
listeners. If you're listening,
that's how it sounds
You're
like.
gonna
Right?
siya.
Okay.
And you want to help yourself in the process, right? So ato na lang i-minimize. So we're gonna take the brain
Okay.
in that process. Let the brain work on
So
it.
what do you do after that? After you've already
And then-
done all of that?
Yeah.
Now, Now what? Do you need a voice like yours? Do you need somebody to tell you? Because
Initially.
it's important. You need a voice
Mm-hmm.
to guide you. In fact, there are a lot of meditation apps, right?
Yep.
That have a voice that
Right.
guides people how to meditate. My question is, if you're starting, do you need a voice, or is it okay to just do it by yourself?
I was just reading this social media, Juan, or not reading, but I was listening to that. There's this, when you're actually found reading, like when you find yourself reading, there's actually kind of like a sound that narrates that in your head. That's your internal voice. But basically, I just mentioned that kay, when you're asking, kinahanglan bag naagi recording or na audio
Na mo guide mo ba?
guided meditation.
Especially kung bago pa ka ba?
Bago pa ka, actually, pwede. Importante ganang naagid kay guidance. Magina importante pagsugod. Pero later on, katong steps lang just to get you going, maanad na ka, then you have that in your, you habituate on that, then you basically will now hear, or not even hear your own voice. You will hear yourself more. Like you'll be more aware of what's going on in your thought, and you acknowledge these things that this is not you. Like these thoughts are not you. And so going to that question, Jiggy, you're going to go towards the next step of just purely going through your own thing rather than listening to the guided,
Because for me, I don't think it feels real just to listen to mga recorded mga meditation apps, because it doesn't really give realism towards it, but it really feels like it's fake. I think that's why it's good. It's like for training wheels para sa mga new listeners or new meditators ba.
Tinod. Kay dili magud tanan start out the same way they are.
But in the same way that you're listening to him now, giving you instructions, I think it's nice to have a guide, like a guiding voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't know how to do it, and if you're distracted, then at least somebody will nudge you back. Hey, balik ka dire, di ba? Kaya kana magong utok ko, di ba? We cannot control it, right? Your brain is a stream. You don't decide what your next thought is. In fact, I did not decide to use this next word, which is word. You know what I mean? I didn't decide that. My brain just did that independently. I did not summon to pick my nose. I probably did, but I don't know. Everything led to that moment. There's so much we don't control, and I think to give away, it is a kind of surrender, right? It is a kind of surrender.
That's the word. Yeah. It's just the word, but then what does the word entail? Unsa man na usay but sa butana. So may surrender. So may surrender mo. What are you giving up? Right?
Yeah, exactly. So what's the answer to that question? What are you giving up? Tell us.
What exactly is it that we're holding on to?
What are we holding on to? What are we giving up?
Yeah. So when you're
attachments,
right? There you go. Whatever that is
things,
clinging on to you.
Relationships, everything. All of these things that weigh you down, right?
Right. There you go, brother man.
So can we do that? Can you do that, Brent? Can you leave everything behind? I don't know, man. That's tough, man. That's pretty tough, right? But you're right. That's what meditation is. And ikaw, Brent, like kanang meditation, kanang yoga, that should also be offered in schools, right? I remember you mentioning you had like a class or somewhere.
UC, San Carlos. We did.
So, what kind of kapila to?
Well, technically not, because like our UC Pardo Talisa is really newly built, or technically speaking, because
you newly acquired, right?
Newly acquired.
Okay.
Therefore, like it's still on its training wheels, still riding on the piggyback of the other UC brands, and it does not really have its own structure in itself.
Not yet. So eventually, hopefully, it will, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
UC, we had like for PE, we had yoga for physical education.
Yeah, they also have PE.
But it's not more focused on meditation. But yoga is a holistic. Remember this, everybody listening and tuning in right now. Yoga is not limited to these postural exercises.
Yoga, what does it include?
Yoga includes everything that entails the mind, everything on your thought processes, everything that goes on that mechanism, including the body. That's only a part of it. And also where we work on integrating that whole aspect with the society. And that's now spirituality. So that's a system, whole system.
So, Jai, if they want to know more about meditation, if they want to know more about yoga, aside from attending your class, which you can plug, by the way, where can they attend your class? If they're listening to this broadcast right now,
Let's
asa man
do
sila
that.
mo adto nga maka-join sa imong meditation, sa imong yoga, and all of that stuff. Go ahead, sir. Please tell us. Go ahead. I'll give you the floor and use the heavenly voice that God has given you. Go ahead.
Can I open this up right now, Jiggy?
Go ahead, please.
Our plan. We have a plan.
What are you opening up, man?
We're opening up.
Are you opening the door? Please do not open the door.
Get on in. Check
Okay.
us up.
Okay. So, but where can they catch you? Is there like a website that they can visit? Is there a Facebook page that they can go to? And do you have like a regular class that's open to the public? That's what I mean.
Yep. Maha Yoga Institute. Maha means great. Yoga is the appreciation of that institute. And we have our YouTube, not YouTube, but Instagram page, Facebook. Yeah, you can check that out over there. We have workshops and classes all across because our community is already spread out. There is a Sugbo.
So
And
how
we're
about for students? Do you have like a special rate for students?
Yeah.
Are you
Definitely.
are you available to be invited maybe by Brent here and his
Maybe.
friends in UC Bardo Basak?
Yeah. I guess because like I'm not the head of the I call it ladder over there in UC. I'm just like one of their dogs. Yeah, Pardo Talisa. It used to be St. Paul College. Then after it was acquired by
So
UC.
Yosa pangan.
Oh.
Kanasang tuiga,
Wow.
karon lang tuiga bago
Dili, when was that? Right before COVID ended, katong 20 kana sa na end sa COVID, mga
Well,
2022,
there's still COVID
right?
now.
I mean, yeah, but like I mean the
Like when
pandemic.
everything started opening up. I mean,
Yeah.
like 2020, like the
2022,
early 2022.
When the ordeal ended, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, like I think it's 2021. Like they were acquired already. Then after that, I was already joining. Like the news spread out na UC na din. Then after my father brought me there.
Sounds like a lot of fun
Hey.
to have yoga in your school or meditation in your school. Kaning yoga and meditation. They can be one. They can also be done separately, right? It's possible to do just meditation, although meditation is a component of
It is.
yoga. Pero nay uban nga ganahan sila nga meditation ra, di ba kanang yoga na ampo na spiritual component. Pero kadaghanan sa atong inaandan nga practice karon murag remove man ang the religious component of the practice, right? So kadaghanan sa atong yoga karon kaning it's just the theoretical, the spiritual practice, but not the religious part. So napay uban nga ganahan pud mo remove sa the yoga part ang meditation na ila. But I think meditation actually sprung differently from yoga, right? Did it come from the same place ba? Meditation, kind of concept of meditation, or was that also like an Eastern philosophy or murag kanang meditation murag lahi man sa na siya sa? O, sa mana,
Meditation.
Di kay ko kabaw sa history sa meditation og sa yoga. Although makaingon ka nga na ay meditation sa yoga, but who was the one who separated it, if ever it is attached to yoga, if ever?
It is part of it. Like we can never take it out. No, the word meditation mo bago. Okay, it's English, and that's why I mentioned to you ang meditation nga gi-refer nila is actually dhyana. Or
Okay, so kind of
dhyan.
concept of meditation is actually
It's
old.
already there.
They
It
just
is-
came up with a
the
new
word.
The word
is
yeah.
a new thing. Even the ancient sages explained it, no? But anyway, the gurus, the masters will say, kanang English limited kayo sila og vocabulary of what is
Actually,
meditation.
language is a kind of limiter.
It
Right?
is.
Language
It
is
is.
it limits you to kanang word. All of a sudden, if there's a word for something, then it gets limited. Monang some religions don't like to describe and to name or to have a photograph of their deity.
Right.
Ilang Ginoo, okay. If you have a photograph of what your God is, then you're limited to it. So kita nga to ang Christian faith, we're limited to that image, right? Kanang white man with long hair and a beard and all of that stuff. So that is kind of limiting. It limits your idea of what a deity is based on the photograph. So if there's a word for something, that means the word limits the description of what the word means of that thing that you're describing. So language is a limiter.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Because then you have all these necessary translation according to the expression of the language and the geography of the language. So, to address that, Jiggy, it is part, and kanang gi-refer karon nga, for all the listeners, gi-refer ninyo nga yoga is called asana.
Asana ang ako ang Yahweh.
Pris.
Asana ang ako ang Yahweh. That's not funny. That was very corny.
There you go.
Asana akong Yahweh. So you're saying?
Asana.
From what ethnic group is that? Like, what is the country that's from the word from?
If you're saying the country, it's
The
actually
asana
the Sanskrit language, which
Sanskrit.
is we are part of. Definitely, we're 80% Sanskrit. I was just mentioning that with our
80%
You were talking
Sanskrit.
about that.
But I don't feel the 80% Sanskrit. what is that? What do you mean? What do you mean by 80%? What do you mean?
80%.
Why do you have a number for it?
What is left with our dialect? Tagalog, Bug Bisaya, General Bisaya.
So ang atong
everybody else.
sinultian 80% Sanskrit?
80%
Porsyento?
ang Sanskrito. Kanang porsyento is Latin, right? Obviously.
No, but 80%, the actual scientific
80%.
claim that you're making,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
80% of our language is Sanskrit. What do you mean? Pasabutin mo na.
Meaning that we still kept the Sanskrit, the evolution of Kwan. Let's say, for example,
Layuan na ito, abot na ito Sanskrit. Ano eh?
Okay.
Unsa naman yung atong Brent
Brent on break.
Brent on break, man. We will never leave you alone, Brent. We will always give you something to chew on.
we're gonna let
So, daghang salamat, Brent. Kaning si Jai Mangod, a meditation and yoga expert siya. We are developing a show and we're brainstorming. And also, he's also a lumad advocate. He was actually leading the prayer. There was our current mayor, Raymond Garcia, was actually filing his certificate of candidacy yesterday, and then there was like an interfaith prayer with different religions and different trains of thought, if you want to call it that. And he led the prayer for the lumad, right? For the lumad. So I'm curious, like, what prayer did you do representing the lumad?
Mo to siya gitawag og sama-sama.
Sama-sama. Unsa man ang sama-sama?
The word sama, when I say sama-sama.
Like actually together?
Yeah, so but
Exactly,
asa man na siya nagikan ba? Like asa man siya?
Sanskrito na.
Diba?
Kanang-
Unsa siya nga tribo, unsa siya nga lugar, unsa siya nga
Mga Bisaya.
oras, o
mga
wala
Bisaya.
meaning unsa nga panahon?
Ang panahon nga akong ma-mention lang yun ninyo is that we're still using that. Because we're not having...
So this is the pre-colonial prayer.
Pre-colonial na siya.
So nanatay concept of what a deity is, what a higher power is,
Right.
for the pre-colonial era. So who were these pre-colonial people worshiping to?
Wasn't it like rocks or like trees or like spirits?
Nature?
Kanang mga animism,
Yeah.
mga animist, no? Mo lagi na katong unang grupo nga nangabot diri, katong mo lagi na mga Ita, kulot buhok, they practice animism.
Yeah, but your prayer,
The
who was it praying?
Australations, katong mga nangabot diri nagbangka.
So
no?
unsa man,
Because they
who
carry
are they praying to? My question is.
deity. They brought in the languages. Kanang diwata, kanang mo diwata.
So that prayer that you just did was worshiping what?
Not even worshiping anybody. It is actually saying sama-sama, we go together.
Okay.
Giawhag.
Why did you use like a flute? Where was it like a flute?
Ang
Is that part of the prayer?
Part of the prayer, part of settling the kay dito magud Igsoonjigi dito magud panahon na to, medyo ang mga tao pero tigud ka kuan ba? Ang tapok bitaw. Nagkagtao, rally man niya. Kinahanglan nimo kuhaon ang ilahang
Tension?
frequency. Kanang gitawag nimo frequency ba? Medyo kung kanang bitong sensitive na ka din dapita, if you're sensitive into that side, you will have to lessen this whole beta. Gitawag ko siya beta ba kanang karas lang ang agi bitaw. Because we're in a solemn celebration, or let's just say we needed solemnity in that
So mo na siya na
specific
flute. So
period.
ang gipangaji nila is what was that? Like diwata? That wasn't the prayer you said. So what was it? What did you do? Because everybody was praying, except for you. So what were you doing, man? We were just, were you just muttering words incoherently?
I,
What were you doing there, man?
I was doing exactly that.
What were you doing?
Kuando kanang gigamit na ko ang Sanskrit words. Okay? And then those Sanskrit are very much meaning.
No, what were you doing? My question is, what were you doing there? They were all praying. What were you doing there?
I was still doing a prayer.
Are you still doing a prayer?
Is it still
Exactly.
A kind of prayer.
Is it still
It is a-
considered a prayer?
It is it is a prayer that we all arrive together.
Okay.
We all go together. We all unite our minds and hearts and spirits together.
So
that's what it meant.
That's what you were saying.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, because I didn't understand a single word, right?
Right,
Because
right.
that was in Sanskrit, you said?
In Sanskrit, and I even sang it.
Oh,
Because
Sanskrit singing.
Mhm. We are.
Should be in the top
Sama
10
sama.
greatest songs of all time.
Oh
right?
my God.
Imagine that.
Should.
Okay, guys, let's do it again next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is that your time?
1
to
to
3
3
in the PM, 7.
Yeah.
Not 7, but 1 to 3 p.m. With Brent on break. Why don't you say hi to your friends before you go? Say hi to your classmates, to your teachers, and to everyone we've ever insulted, everyone we've ever hurt, everyone we've ever berated.
FBI, open up!
Yeah, everyone
So-
that came looking for us. Just go ahead, man.
So shout out to the FBI. Always disturbing our. Oh, there they are.
Kage. Lagot.
I'd like to thank all of my friends who are also listening to me and congratulating me for actually doing this. They're really happy that I'm on the radio and they were so interested in talking about that.
Okay.
Good.
And also thanks to my teachers. They're very supportive of what I'm doing. I thought they would be like more concerned. They would be more concerned regarding what I'm doing because it could be bad for the school's image. But at the same time, they were very happy. Like I get to express
You
myself.
cannot walk
And yeah.
the school anymore feeling safe. You will need a bodyguard, Brent.
I have.
Brent needs a bodyguard.
Maybe that's the next segment.
Okay, daddy, please give your son a bodyguard. Okay? He needs to be safe. Everybody wants a piece of him.
Well, if that were the fact, I would be happy. But no.
Why would you be happy that everybody wants to get a piece of you?
Well, no, actually, no. Now let's not talk about that.
Paakon ka ba? Mamaak na ng mga tao. Daghang salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw sa Brent on Break. This is our student program. If you if you feel like you have a show in you, if you feel like your school needs to be represented and you're a student of that particular school, just hit us up. Message us on